Winter is starting to creep up over the mountaintops here in Utah, and preparing for winter as a human is, about as simple as it gets. Some warmer shoes, some warmer clothes, like this stinky trench coat I found at the local thrift store. But when it comes to equipping your 3,000-pound hunk of metal, plastic, and rubber for winter, it can get a little bit more complicated. So today, we're going to take a look at the top 5 winter modifications for your car that don't stink like this trench coat. Now, let's get the first and most obvious choice of my list out of the way first, shall we? A winter and/or all-season tire. These, in cold weather conditions, will allow you to brake better, accelerate better, and turn better. Now, I don't have much to say about winter tires that you guys haven't heard a million times already, but in a nutshell, winter tires are made out of a softer compound, allowing it in cold weather to retain its elasticity, which in turn allows it to grip the road better. Now, another unsuspecting tip that I can give to you guys that live way up north and get a lot of snow in the winter is to actually pick up a winter tire in your stock wheel size, assuming you have a wider aftermarket wheel. That will allow you, 1, keep your aftermarket wheels nice and shiny, and B, actually get quite a considerable amount of more grip in snowy conditions. Now, you may be thinking I'm crazy because wider tire equals more contact patch equals more grip, which is true, assuming you're driving on a hard road surface. You see, in snow, it's actually much more beneficial to have a narrower tire because it allows the tire to maintain more pressure per square inch, allowing the tire to dig into the snow more, giving you more grip. Now, some of my personal recommendations in the tire department, let's start with all season, would be this lovely Michelin Premier. It does pretty good in the summer, it does pretty good in the winter. Remember, all season tires are great at being both, but not that great at being one or the other. Now, when it comes to winter tires, hands down, I'm sorry, but the king has not been dethroned. It is the Bridgestone Blizzak. It absolutely blitzes every other tire in snow tests and is just still, hands down, the king of the game. The only downside to a Blizzak is that, well, the only way a piece of rubber could cost you more is, well, if you broke a condom. Now, the next spot on my list will have to go to lights. I'll be a bit more specific than that, because while more light is beneficial to a point, I'm sure some of you have flicked on your high beams in a snowstorm before and realized that, oh, well, guess I'm riding the Millennium Falcon because it looks like we're just going into hyperspace, except you might just find yourself in a hyper ditch. It's important to know where it's actually beneficial to add more lights for the winter time, and my number one spot would probably go to fog lights. That's exactly why I have a pair of these Morimoto LED fog lights in front of me. These will give you a much, much brighter source of light and also widen the area that it sweeps, allowing you to see, some of those potential hyper ditches. Another place where I recommend adding light is to, well, the backside of your car with something like an OLEM F1 brake light. Now, these are great. They will add a source light to the bottom of your car, allowing other drivers behind you to possibly see you earlier. And they also offer a flashing function when you first hit the brake pedal to also, alert possible rear enders. Now, Morimoto offers their fog lights in many, many forms, shapes, sizes, and styles for anything from an Impreza to a WRX to an STI to a Crosstrek to an Outback. Seriously, go check out some of their assortment because it is huge. Next thing on my list is floor mats. Now, excuse this one being dirty, but it's been in our 18 WRX, and as you can see, it clearly has been doing its job. The whole point of these is to just keep stuff like snow, mud, moisture, and salt out of your carpet. WeatherTech is a big fancy 3D scanner that they scan your floorboard with and mold these accordingly. I mean, they fit amazing, and they are really good at doing their job. So if you're driving a car that you maybe feel bad about driving in the winter, definitely pick some of these up. Next thing on my list, some Rally Armor mud flaps. Now, won't take much to explain to a lot of you because I assume a lot of you watching drive a WRX or an STI, and I would assume a good chunk of you already have mud flaps on your car. But in essence, it makes you nicer to people driving behind you by stopping the rocks that your tires fling. It keeps like dirty, nasty, salty snow off of your paint job and prevents that stuff also getting inside of your fender, possibly causing premature rusting. So if you want to keep your paint job a little bit nicer this winter, pick up some mud flaps. And last but not least are silicone windshield wipers. You might be thinking, well, what's wrong with the normal rubber one? Well, nothing really for the first little while, but in tests, silicone windshield wipers have been found to last somewhere in the neighborhood of twice as long. They're also much, much quieter than rubber windshield wipers, and over time, they actually coat your windshield in a teeny tiny thin layer of silicone, making wiping water away a whole lot easier. Well, looks like that'll about do it. What are your guys' favorite winter tips? Make sure to let me know in the comments. Mine personally is a sock filled with kitty litter. If I do that, I basically don't have to touch my defroster all winter long since kitty litter loves absorbing moisture. Anyways guys, if you found today's video helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave me with a like, and as always, love you guys. See you in the next one.